Common here, your host of the Maglite podcast. And of course, Maglite as a company has always been very supportive of our military and our veterans. Maglite products have been used in theaters of war since 1979, all over the place. And as people like Christian Tonto Peranto of Benghazi fame have told me, couldn't go anywhere and go to someplace in a theater anywhere in the world where you went into the military shop and there wasn't Maglite product. So it's just always there, always has been ever since he served. And man, we are really, really appreciative of the support of our military and police and other first responders who use our products. And we are happy today to introduce a man who is spending his life serving the need of veterans, and that is Tim Holbert with the American Veterans Center. Hey, Tim, glad to have you on the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Lou. Really appreciate it.
Great to have you here. Just off the top, what is the American Veterans Center and what's its mission?
Well, the ABC has been around for 25 years now. We like to say our mission is to guard the legacy and honor the sacrifices of our veterans from across the generations. 25 years ago, we started off working with World War II veterans specifically and recording their stories through documentary and oral history projects, public events, educational programs along those lines. And then about 20 years ago, we expanded that to really focus on all generations over the past 80 years of history. So we've had the opportunity, just countless incredible stories, obviously from the World War II generation, nearly all gone, but not totally gone, to work with just incredible people and spotlight them. That's done, like I said, documentary programs. We do the National Memorial Day Parade here in Washington, D.C., and all kinds of other great programs that run throughout the year.
I've got over my shoulder over here, that's actually the invasion map of Normandy, and which I got when I went to visit the actual battle beaches of Normandy. I thought it was very important to take my kids there a few years ago when they were younger. It's an opportunity. And above my desk here, I've got the flag raising at Iwo Jima and also the famous shot, I believe it was from Newsweek magazine, or was it Life? I think it's Life, actually, of the first guys getting off the first Higgins boat at Normandy. So obviously, it's very important to me. It's part of Maglite's culture, and we are glad to have worked with your organization in the past. I hope we can do some stuff together in the future. You have an event coming up, you were telling me the other day. Can you tell me all about it?
Absolutely. Here, just coming up in a few days, right before Veterans Day, we have our 25th annual Veterans Conference. That's where we bring together just dozens of stories from across the past 80 years of history. They meet with each other. They share their stories with hundreds of students from all the military service academies and ROTC programs around the country. Just this great intergenerational mix of storytelling here in Washington. That's where we do a lot of our oral history production. If you check out our YouTube channel at ABC Videos, we have thousands of videos up there now, mostly of veterans telling their stories. And 50 million views on it, really several hundred thousand subscribers. It's really become a great channel out there. So it all culminates on the final evening with a program that we call American Valor, a Salute to Our Heroes. We film that. It's a big, for everybody who attends, it's a big black tie gala, hundreds of people in attendance, but we film it as a television broadcast, Veterans Day TV special, premiering the night of Veterans Day on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox stations around the world. Also to American Forces Network, so hitting all military bases around the world and ships at sea, and spotlights these incredible stories from the last 80 years of history. So we'll have surviving D-Day veterans with us, Iwo Jima veterans, all the way through Medal of Honor recipients, into Vietnam veterans, and then some great modern day stories as well, all tying together and telling that story of history. Great celebrity participation with narrations and videos, introductions from people like Tom Cruise and Edward Norton, Bradley Cooper, Gayle King, Sarah Paulson, Chris Pine, Chris Pratt. Just a great sort of star-studded event, all hosted by Rob Riggle. We all know him as a comedian, but he was also a Marine Corps veteran himself. So awesome weekend and awesome show coming up.
Well, I'll tell you, that would be something to be at. And by the way, I actually did attend that event with Tony Maglica Jr. A number of years ago, and I hope to be doing so again in the future. What is it like? Tell me what's satisfying about working with this organization for you personally.
Well, it's all about the people. It's all about the veterans. These are people obviously who, in so many cases have given so much, and without asking for anything in return other than that it was the right thing to do. And it's all about preserving their legacy in history. As I mentioned, we've met so many incredible people over the years, from like I said, Medal of Honor recipients, Tuskegee Airmen, all the guys, the real guys from Band of Brothers. We knew them all, and sadly they're all gone. And so it is about connecting, meeting these legends from history, but then doing everything that we can to capture that history and then preserve it, so that now, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you didn't know that YouTube was going to become what it's become to share these stories. So we have vets who have passed away a decade ago, like General Patton's Jeep driver we knew well. Passed away a long time ago. We posted his story a year ago, and now it's 1 million views on YouTube. And so that history that you didn't know what you could do with 10 years ago, it can always live.
It's such a great opportunity. It's such a great opportunity to preserve that history. And of course, Veterans Day is coming up November 11th. And your organization, where do you get your funding?
So it's really a mix. It runs, really the bread and butter comes down to individual donors around the country, writing small, checks, 5, 15, 25, $50, $100 checks that help us get out there and do that. It means all the difference, because, when we're out there trying to record these stories, particularly with our World War II and Korea generation, and increasingly Vietnam, every bit matters, and enabling us to get out and send cameras out and capture that next story. So that's the base. We also have, of course, nonprofit foundation support, great corporate support. We know Maglite obviously has been supportive too, previously. And so it's really a wide mix of revenue channels to keep it going.
So how do people support your organization? If there's somebody watching Maglite Nation right now that wants to help preserve these stories for the future and the mission of the American Veterans Center right here, as I said, around Veterans Day, which is coming up November 11th.
Easiest route is to go to AmericanVeteransCenter.org. You can, one, learn more about us, and two, you can make a contribution online, tax deductible. We are a 501c3, a nonprofit foundation. So you can make a donation right there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch our content and videos there, and we get a little bit from that front as well. So lots of great ways you can help.
Tim Holbert from American Veterans Center. Appropriate time to be doing this podcast here with Maglite, with Veterans Day coming up here on November 11th. Of course, at Maglite, we honor our veterans, and we really hope that people get your message and support your organization. It's a very vital mission to honor and remember our American veterans here coming up on Veterans Day. Tim Holbert, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.